Welcome to The Fountain with Ellie Thomas. The fountain is an image that I use in my work often to speak of our multidimensionality, to connect with the life, the living water flowing within us through mind, body, spirit, heart, and all. This show is a place where we explore it all, where we tap into wisdom that has surfaced through pain and joy and the fullness of our journeys. This podcast is a place to come and remember, to sink back into the living water that flows within you and to be guided back to your fountain, your fullness, your wholeness, and how to be with that as we navigate living as divine humans in this wild, wild world and this wild, wild journey. I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive in together and be refreshed and consoled by the water that wants to flow through. Hello, welcome back to the fountain. So lovely to be with you again. So much has been stirring for me this week. How about for you? Should we take a moment to just breathe in and out? And I'm stuffy because I've cried a lot in the last 24 hours. So please excuse my stuffy inhales. Big exhales. Just feeling the breath come into our system, come into your body with gentleness. Welcoming a little bit more in, letting it reach the places that you're most needing to be met. And releasing when you're ready. This seasonal shift, though. Whoa, I have been feeling the transition energy for quite a few weeks all around me and in places in my life as well. There's a lot of hope in it and also a lot of undoneness. And I've felt pretty undone in a lot of areas within myself this week. And there is a topic that I have had on my mind to write about or to share with you literally for years. And it is the topic of the power of emotional release and of tapping into and beginning to embrace and understand emotions and energy and what that can actually mean for us. And like all topics that I share, I first of all aim to always come here to share with you from clear energy. I don't need everything to be perfect. I don't need to put on any faces and be all great, but I do want to feel clear. And I want to offer to you from a clear place. And secondly, the podcasts that are most powerful for you are the ones where I wait for the energy to be alive within me, within my fountain, wanting to pour out to you. And I join that current and offer to you from a place of, okay, this is alive. This wants to flow out. And so here I am in my week of remembering very potently within myself the power of emotional release and how it has been such a big healer and teacher in my life. I never forgot it, but it's like I just learn again and again and again, and the deepening and the devotion simply grows. I am somebody that for years, we're talking about almost 30 years of my life, suppressed a ton of emotion. I did not feel safe to release in many circumstances I somehow learned quite young. I don't know when or why or how. Well, I do have some idea, which I will be sharing with you when my story drops, but I really don't remember the exact moment that I understood that, or I concluded that it was not safe to share what was happening for me emotionally. And I became, from a very young age, extremely good at keeping things sealed down, managing myself and life in order to keep myself and everybody else safe, or what I thought was safe. And wow, did it ever take a toll. It took a toll on my body. It took a toll on my energy. And when I say body, I had health problems that I'm pretty sure was related to this for years. And health problems related to the increased adrenaline that I had because I never allowed the release. And everything was just stored in me. And when I first started working with my coach 5 years ago, I had hit a breaking open moment in my life where I could no longer keep the dam walls up. They were just shattering, and the tears spilled out uncontrollably. And over time, as I explored and was guided to explore, like, where is this pain coming from? What is it that's causing so much pain? Where is the pain stemming from, and how many years has it been pushed away and not invited in? And as I began to understand that I had been repressing, I also began to learn from Rebecca and through my own observation how much energy I had used in my life trying to manage this massive amount of energy within me. And I mean, like, how much of my life force energy I used in order to manage this emotion energy in me so that it would not come out or not create havoc or even just raise eyebrows. And as I began to learn what healthy, safe release was, to begin to connect with the pain over and over and over again and give it a space and give it a voice and allow it to be part of my life. Slowly, this energy that had been tightly managing, almost like militaristically, was liberated. And I was able to reclaim that energy back into my day-to-day life and my day-to-day life force and into my body systems. And at first, this was so foreign. It was almost blissful. Like to arrive at the end of a coaching session that was full of beautiful release and expression, and to finally have felt safe to be witnessed in that and to fully release, and then to find myself in the moment of calm, the moment of, as I have spoken to before, fertile emptiness that I arrived to after the release. And this is really a special place because as I've come to practice this hundreds of times in my own life, and also just be with clients amidst their moment of release and guiding them and like just holding this loving space where they can do that and feel into everything that needs to come out and then enter into the release. The release, that empty space, is actually where the magic of who we are that couldn't peek through before starts to like raise its hand out of the ground and say, oh, I'm here. I think there's enough space for me to step forward, or at least to get my arm out of this hole and begin to say hello again. The beauty and the power of allowing our emotion to move freely and find outward expression through voice, through sound, through physical movement goes so much beyond simply expressing the emotion. That is worthy in and of itself and so beautiful and needed. And also, half of the magic comes in when we really allow ourselves to do that, and then we also create space to sit in the nothingness that comes afterwards. The power of the release is incredible. only after the release is there space to really feel what has been beneath this energy, what has been pushed away because we've harbored energy in motion, emotion in our systems for so long. It's kind of like the therapy of clearing out an entire plot of land that's filled with weeds, and the joy and satisfaction first of just having done it, and then seeing the bare land and pouring in, organic fertilizer, and then slowly watching what can be planted and what can come to life here now. And for the first 6 months to a year of my journey, so much of just what I was receiving from coaching was the space to release, the space to sometimes have words, sometimes not have words, to allow the tears, the guttural somatic noises to move in different ways that I had never felt safe to do before. And then to watch throughout the week how in between these sessions, this new energy, well, it wasn't new, this energy that had been suppressed within me began to be liberated and return to my creative self. More capacity to create, more capacity to engage with life, more capacity to try new things again. This week for me, I've been in a situation that is fascinating because this is a situation that I encountered and lived in for years of my life. And a certain circumstance came up that kind of recreated in a different way the same situation and the same feeling within me of there isn't quite safety to share everything that's happening for me. Nobody's quite ready to meet me in this. And as I've just navigated how to respect the other party and also be in respect with myself, I've observed how holding this emotion in, holding my experience in, is exhausting. It keeps me from clarity. It overwhelms my entire system and just makes me want to take a nap and then another nap. How dulling it is, how much it keeps me from the feeling of vitality and true well-being in my body, in my heart, in my mind. And as soon as I got on the phone with my coach today, and I spoke about this with multiple friends throughout the week and let pieces of it out, but as soon as I got on the call and just had this long space to explore and contemplate together all of the pieces that were playing into the situation, little by little, I just felt the energy that was so big that my body and system was trying to hold down, it was trying to hold me down without being weighed down. It's also trying to hold down this energy that I was feeling and the emotion that I was feeling. And it was just little by little, the space to embrace all of myself again was offered. And I enjoy being the recipient of this, and I enjoy being the creator of this space for others. It is magical on all ends. This release happens little by little, just allowing us to return to our great vitality. At the beginning of the journey, we don't even know what that vitality feels like. But as we continue to liberate and create space through release over and over and over again, and through loving witnessing over and over and over again of ourselves and also being witnessed through love by others, we begin to tap into, whoa, this is who I really am. This is the potential of my energy. There's so much more here that wants to pour in or offer or create or just be and enjoy the beingness of my fullness. And I have become accustomed to that clarity as my, base state. And wow, it was fascinating today to feel the shift from different days of the week, depending on how I was able to lean into the expression. And how today, in the fullness of the release, there's just this gentle hum of warmth and lightness that has moved throughout my body and then the energy all around me. This place where I just want to listen to this fertile silence. There's no action quite ready yet to be taken. And yet I know as my energy is regathering to step forward, release takes a lot. We often need a really great integration nap afterwards, or just a time to be. And in that beingness, or in the beautiful in-between of a nap, we get to tune into the beauty of nothingness. It's like the beginning of a new cycle. Nothingness and allness, or everythingness all at once. And there's peace and calm and aliveness all coupled together here. Moving with and beginning to unpack emotion is a powerful gift. Beginning to learn step by step to play with and engage with our present emotion and what it's bringing up from our past wells, and also what it's tapping on in our stored places, can offer us so much. It offers us an entryway into parts of ourselves that have been forgotten and ignored and pushed away. Like tiny, tiny little caverns that are ready to be rediscovered and are full of riches. Becoming intimate with pain through this practice is life-changing. And there are so many dimensions to this. A lot to explore here. But what would it be like, just where you are right now, to simply even acknowledge that there might be pain or emotion that you've pushed down that might be more ready to be held, engaged with, expressed when you are in a safe place, a loving place, a place of zero harm. And take a minute to also feel into what might be beneath that. What's ready to come out that first needs to be accessed through the pain, through the suppressed emotion. And then take a moment to say, what do I need to create safety, or to step into safety, to really truly begin to meet these layers as they're ready to come? That's the other thing. We never need to force any emotion or any past pain. It will come when it is ready. One of the principles of deep coaching for practitioners of it is expand your capacity to be with pain. Usually, to do this, we need to first learn to be with our own pain before we can ever offer that to others. And wow, have I ever had a lifetime of teaching of that so far in my life. And it is one of the great things that I feel like I am both a master and a beginner in. And also, what would it be like to turn towards yourself and ask, what do I need to be free to increase my capacity to be with my pain in this time? Do I need silence? Do I need someone working with me, holding me, guiding me? Do I need a journal? Do I need to go to one of those rooms where I throw dishes at the wall? Do I need to buy a coconut and smash it on my driveway? Do I simply just need to acknowledge for right now, wow, there's a lot of pain here, and begin to welcome it drop by drop in? we first must acknowledge and accept and make space for before we can release. This is a beautiful dance of alchemy of our energy, of meeting an old, usually part of us in a suppressed emotion within us and allowing it to arise, inviting it back in and offering it a stage. It doesn't need to be a big one, but really offering it a place where it can share its heart. And then allowing, as it does that, the energy to move and move and move. And simply through the love and the witnessing that is there, it begins to transform. This might not be a one and done. The same place of pain might need to be engaged with and offered space many times. And yet each time it is transformed a little bit more and a little bit more. And either evaporates and finds its way back to where it belongs, or it turns into something else within us, or it wants to be expressed through us, through art, through song, through clay, through movement. And once it is released in some way through us, we get to be in that emptiness where we feel the fertility of our own being alive and new sprouts of our essence ready to take up space in our bodies and hearts and minds. I could say the same message over and over and over again with different words, but see if you can connect with the energy of it within you. And there's different ways to access this. Sometimes, if you're not used to being in an expressive emotional place, trying to access it through emotion can feel like you're pushing. And when that's the case, I've learned that accessing it through the body, through listening to a song that just makes you want to move and letting it move you, is enough. Sometimes we need to access it through the mind, through storytelling, through writing. Sometimes we need to start in the reverse state and create the art first and allow the art to provoke and bring the emotion up deep within us. There is no perfect rhyme or rhythm. So what would meeting you where you are in the process of your alchemy, opening to your energetic alchemy look like? What would embracing the healing that these releases allow from the angle that you can let it in today look like? If you are ready to work with someone, if the pulse of this message says to you, yes, there is so much to release here, to just feel yourself again, and you are in great desire of being guided and supported in this process, book your exploratory call with me, and let's see what wants to come through. These calls, the exploratory calls, they are real sessions. They are powerful. And they are available. I will also add to the podcast feed a beautiful meditation for pain that I created that you can play around with on your own and see what release wants to happen right away. So I hope this message meets you where you are needing to be met, or where you will be needing to be met soon. And I look forward to coming back with more from the fountain soon. Thank you so much for listening to The Fountain. Please take a moment to rate and review the show and to send it along to a friend that comes to heart or mind. I'd also love to hear what came up for you and your experience listening to the most recent episodes. So reach out via your podcast app or send me an email. And if you'd like to book your first session or explore working together more, find me at ellieflow.com.